Good afternoon and welcome to a special edition of the CWIT session. What is a CWIT session? I'm so glad you asked. A CWIT session is a pop-up interview in a pop-up location with surprise guests. But these guests are no surprise because you've been reading about them any and everywhere. They're the Tolberts of Tolbert and Tolbert, along with they're one of their associates, and I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves. But this is a spinoff from your latest newsletter because there are so many exciting things going on at Tolbert and Tolbert, till I thought I would pop in and talk a little bit about the excitement that is the firm. So I will start with you, Attorneys Tolbert, if you would please introduce yourselves and your special guest for today, and then we'll jump right in.
Ladies first.
Hello, everyone. I am Shalise Tolbert, the second Tolbert of Tolbert and Tolbert, as I am married into the family.
I'm Michael Tolbert.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Candace Williams.
And Candace, you are an associate for the firm, correct? Here at Tolbert and Tolbert. And one of the main reasons that I thought we'd have this conversation today, on a monthly basis, the Tolberts always release a newsletter that talks about all the different things happening in the firm. In the most recent edition, there was a feature on you, Candace, and all that you bring to the firm. And so we wanted to bring that article to life by introducing our readers and our public and followers to just who you are and what you mean to the firm. But before I talk to you, I would certainly love to hear from Shalise and Michael about Candace. You know, it's always great to be raved on by your those who have asked you to join the team. So Michael, Shalise, talk to us about Candace and why she makes such an amazing attorney for Tolbert and Tolbert.
Well, I will say that Candace is just a great lawyer. I was going to say young lawyer, but she's been in the game for a little while now, so she's pretty much nearing the 5th or 6th year mark, pretty close. But we are just very blessed and fortunate to have Candace with us. She's homegrown. She's from the city of Gary. So that was something that was very important to us in terms of trying to hire lawyers that are actually from Gary, Indiana. And not only is she from Gary, Indiana, but she's just a smart, diligent professional. So we're very, very fortunate to have her caliber of expertise here in our firm.
Nice. And Shalise, anything to add?
Yes, I would add that one of the things that was definitely a plus is Candace is a faith-based woman.
Love it.
She is a God-fearing woman, which fits right in with what we stand for.
Okay. Well, Candace, it's been a while since you've joined the firm. How has it been? And share with us some of the highlights of your legal career thus far.
Should we leave the room?
I hope you don't have to leave the room.
We're a family here. So one of the things that I always tell individuals is that I feel as though I'm very blessed to be at Tolbert and Tolbert because it was a complete circle. I feel as though as the years go past, because some of our clients are places that I'm from or lived in for a while, the school I actually went to. So being that I actually am a product of Gary Community School Corporation, and now I'm at a firm which represents that organization. So it was like a full circle moment. As far as like the highlights, it's so many to name because we're very blessed to have so many different clients and to do so many different things. I never knew coming into law that I would learn about airport law, that I would learn about municipality law, that I would be able to do some business law, some transactional work. I never knew so many things that I would get into before getting in and being a part of this firm. So it's so many highlights to name. It's so many wonderful things that I have been a part of with being with Tolbert and Tolbert. But one of the main things is being able to learn about so many different areas of law and not ever being bored at work.
Never a dull moment
Never
here at the firm.
Moment.
Well, I also read some of the things about you regarding the various accolades and memberships that you have in the community that all of you do. Talk to us about your community service in the legal community and beyond.
Yes, of course. So one of the first legal organizations that I really recall getting involved in as a practicing attorney was the James C. Kimbrough Bar Association.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a part of that organization. It really is composed of other African American attorneys in Northwest Indiana. And coming up probably next month, I will have the pleasure and the privilege of being the president of the James C. Kimbrough Bar Association.
Awesome.
So it's very wonderful that I can follow in the footsteps of the Tolberts with being the president of the organization. So James C. Kimbrough Bar Association, also involved in the Lake County Bar Association, the Indiana State Bar Association, which I feel very special at this point to have the president at the firm.
Yes.
Within the ISBA, I'm a part of the Young Lawyers section, which really helps me get around other attorneys from across the state that are around the same age as me, my contemporary, so I'm involved in that as well. Something that's a little bit outside of the legal realm is Toastmasters International. There's only one club in Gary, and I have the pleasure and privilege of being the president of that as well. It's an international organization that helps individuals with their communication and leadership skills, something that's beneficial to an attorney like myself.
Absolutely. I was going to say, if you're in the courtroom and you need to be able to defend your client and express yourself effectively, Toastmasters is definitely a way to go to hone your skills. So Shalise, how important is it for you as one of the leaders of the firm to have people on your team be involved in the community?
Oh, I think it's very important because the fabric of our reason for being here is to support the community.
Okay.
So if we are not doing God's work by being involved in the community and just being here, then I think that, we're not fulfilling our destinies.
Yes.
I think God has placed us here so that we can make a difference not only in the legal field, but also in the community itself, whether it's something that has nothing to do with legal. For instance, you all know we do the UNCF, Northwest Indiana Leadership Council.
They're calling you now.
They are. I'm involved with the Gary Literacy Coalition. Candace is involved with Sojourner Truth House.
Nice.
Michael has been involved in so many things I can't even start naming.
I'm going to get to that in a minute because we're going to laugh in a minute.
I'll let him do his own resume and stuff. But, I think it's very important to be involved in the community because if you want support, and not that we look at it for accolades or for anything in return, but as our pastor was saying yesterday that, and just help because I think all of us come from families that had helping hearts.
Absolutely.
Whether it didn't have to be monetary. I know I came from a family where my grandma was always feeding somebody, giving somebody some clothes, letting them stay with us, whatever it may be. It was a servant's heart.
Yes.
And I think that's what is at the core of what we do legally and in the community.
I think that that's actually also what you all are really known for. It's like, we know that you all are attorneys, but we expect to see you all at events. We expect to call on you for sponsorships. I mean, it's just what we do. And I think that's a great place to be in the community, to have that outward facing, we'll be there by your side and not just looking for your business. So you talked about things outside of the legal realm and activities. For those of you who have not read the latest issue of the Tolbert Tolbert newsletter, yeah, see what I'm saying? There was an article about Attorney Tolbert, this Attorney Tolbert to my immediate right, about earning your black belt in martial arts. Please explain to me what that entailed, and do we need to be scared of you, or how does this work?
No, I mean, karate has always been a very important part of my life. And I started taking karate when I was, I believe, 5 years old. I started very young. And I always tell people that I think that all kids should be required to take some form of martial arts because it teaches you at an early age discipline. There's a saying in Dunlap School of Karate is, karate's my secret, I bear no weapons, I am humble. And I remember that just like I remember the Pledge of Allegiance, just like I remember our firm mission statement, it's ingrained in me. And, you know, I just think that that's something that has helped me throughout my career in terms of discipline, that has helped me stay focused, and has helped me be able to defend myself.
Oh, absolutely.
But but that's, you know, that's kind of what that's all about. And I took a little bit of a hiatus. I took a long hiatus.
Okay, because you were like 5 years old when you black belt now.
Yeah, I was 5 years old, and then I stopped when I was about 16 or 17 years old. And I continued to stay in contact with the school through various support. And Alex Dunlap, Master Dunlap is what I want to give him his honor and refer to him as, was like my second father. So I continued to stay in contact with him, even though I wasn't active, and we continued to support the school financially because they're doing wonderful things in our community.
And that's what you all do, like I said.
I got all the way to a brown belt.
Okay.
Before I stopped, and I continued to support, and then he gave me an honorary black belt.
Nice.
So that's how that came about. And it was one of the most magnificent things that have ever happened to me, because it means something to, you know, be honored by him because he's like my father, but also to have all my brothers and, you know, Master Ledbetter, Joe Ledbetter, Alex Dunlap Jr., Toya Dunlap. I'm not going to name them all because I might forget somebody.
But when you said Joe Ledbetter, that automatically took me back to high school. I love
you know
this.
Joe?
We went to high school together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so that's the beautiful thing, though, about living, working, being from Gary. And as Candace indicated, being full circle with it, where you come back, you get to impact the people who have helped raise you or are part of your village. And I love that you're able to connect and do these things and have that major accomplishment, which makes me ask Shalise, would she happen to be next? Or you have any martial arts goals?
Not at all, but I would like to say, because I don't agree with the term that he used, saying it's an honorary black belt.
Okay.
What I understand it to be was that at the time that he stopped, it was a time where they were not giving black belts to students his age.
Okay.
So when he stopped, he was at a black belt level.
Okay.
But because it was not something that they did at the time in martial arts, giving a 16-year-old a black belt, he didn't get it then, but he deserved it. So it's not honorary in my eyes.
You all see the counselor's interpretation of the language. I mean, everything.
It was hard.
In defense of you, I love it. So, Attorney Tolbert has spoken. It is a black belt. Scratch the honorary black belt. It is. I love that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
No martial arts in my future at all. You know, maybe some cardio kickboxing.
Okay.
That's about it.
Well, we are definitely proud of you, Michael, and just add that as another feather in your cap. Another thing that was also listed in your newsletter was that you were hiring for, is it a legal clerk or a
paralegal?
A paralegal. Has that role been filled, or can we do a shout out now?
We are still looking for someone who has experience in Indiana as a civil litigation paralegal.
Okay.
Preferably with some experience, 3 to 5 years, full-time position with our firm. We need to fill that position immediately. So you can email resumes to us, S as in Sam, Tolbert, Tolbert, at tolbertlegal.com. We want to have someone who fits with our culture and who is ready and willing to work hard, because we work hard. We work hard, we play hard, we're a family.
I love it. I love it. So I will make sure that I put that information in the comments. And those of you who are watching, we ask that you please share this video. A lot of times there are employment opportunities right here in our community. It's just a matter of us sharing. So Candace, you mentioned earlier that we have our state president. We're so happy to be able to work with him. So Michael, do you have any updates from the state regarding, the Indiana State Bar Association as serving as president?
Well, we have a lot going on at the State Bar right now. Actually, I was on a Zoom meeting pretty much most of the day today because we've been doing a 3-part strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
And today's session was on advocacy and trying to format kind of a policy to give a little bit of substance in terms of when the State Bar will weigh in on very critical issues that impact the bar and also our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we don't necessarily have a policy on when the president is supposed to speak out on certain issues.
Okay.
And in the day and age we live in, where you have all of these political issues that are, upon us, it's very important to have a policy that gives the president and the executive team some guidance on what to say, how to say it, and when to speak out about it. So that was an all-day session today.
Yeah.
And the State Bar is always working extremely hard for lawyers like Candace, young lawyers like Candace, to make sure that during this pandemic and during COVID that they stay engaged and they have the same traditional networking opportunities that Shalise and I had when we first started practicing. It's a different age that we live in, so that is always, something that the State Bar is working on. Just trying to make sure that we have a bar association that fulfills the needs of all of its members. So
Okay.
yeah, we're very busy.
Well, thank you for that update. And again, I can't say it enough times about how proud we are of you to be representing us, to be from Gary. Anytime somebody from Gary wins, we rally around and say, we're all the president together, So thank you for that update. Candace, can you share a little bit more about your background? Where did you receive your legal training? Oh, and what high school did you attend? What are your Gary roots?
Yes. So I'm originally from Gary. I went to William A. Wirt High School.
She said William A. Okay. As opposed to getting it mixed up with another word. Okay.
Yes.
Those work people.
I know, right?
Yeah, so I'm here representing the troopers.
Okay.
Yeah, so originally from Gary, I attended Ball State University, received a bachelor's degree in business administration. And then I got a chance to go to the same law school as Michael and Shalise, Valparaiso University.
Excellent.
So I came back home and got my legal training from there and ended up staying home, which is what I wanted to do, and working in the community that I was born and raised.
Beautiful. I think that's a common denominator for us all here at the table. And there are some other common denominators amongst the three of you of the various accolades and lists that you are on. I want to send a congratulations to the two of you for recently being on the list of the Indiana Super Lawyers? You become a super lawyer versus a regular lawyer. What's a super lawyer, Shalise?
I believe that a super lawyer designation involves a vote by our peers of the top 5% of the lawyers in the state of Indiana. So it's a true honor to know that your peers think this of you.
And then what is the other accolade that you all share that I think you all are all on that same list and you all make it every year?
We are in the top 100 national black lawyers, and Candace was in the top 20 under 40 of that same organization.
Well, I am at the table with some heavy hitters, and I have amazing news for all of you who are tuned in today, that as the Tolberts continue to release news through their newsletter, we are going to start a monthly conversation with them to talk more about the things that are going on in the firm. And that way, all of the followers can stay engaged with everything that you have going on, because a lot of times we kind of gloss over legal news until we're like in trouble or we need something. But there are times when you all have information to share that people just need to know on a general basis. And before we close out, I'd love for you all to share specifically what your areas of specialty are, in case there's someone who happens to be watching that says, I'm looking to support that firm. Perhaps there is work that I can send your way. Michael?
Yeah, I can start off. I always fashion us as a litigation boutique firm.
Okay.
And that means that we do pretty much anything that involves litigation conflict. So we do a lot of personal injury work. So if folks are injured, wrongful death actions, we can handle those. We have a very unique niche in that we do a lot of defense work for insurance companies, as well as big insurance companies, municipalities, businesses, small and big. And we deal with a lot of complicated pieces of litigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything to add?
I do some estate planning with preparation of wills, power of attorneys. We do a tad bit of what I guess I can call real estate with quick claim deeds and things of that nature, business entity formation, and even 501c3 designations.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that last one. But speaking of the estate planning, every time you say those buzzwords, and they should be more than buzzwords, we should have learned during this time of COVID, all of this unexpected death, and how amazed I am to see so many people who are not prepared for death. I know it sounds morbid, but in all honesty, in our communities in particular, Shalise, just speak briefly of how important it is to get our affairs in order and having services like that you provide to ensure that we don't lose things, or our families aren't able to have things that were supposed to rightfully be bequeathed to us, but because Big Mama just had a piece of paper up under the mattress and there's nothing in writing that's formal, that our estates aren't in order.
Yes, that's exactly why I chose and wanted to do this. This is an area that I've talked about for years that we in our community need to address. And doing this, once we were able to open Tolbert Tolbert, being able to do this to me is not just about making money off of it. It's about educating our community. I try to talk to groups about planning and not waiting until something happens or when someone gets ill. It's okay for you to start planning for your death. As morbid as it sounds, you are preparing and being smart. This is just like handling any other business, of getting your affairs in order and letting your family know this is what you've done, this is how you want it done. One less worry, because people get so emotional when that time does come, when we lose that loved one. And it's hard to navigate business when your emotions are everywhere. So to do this ahead of time, to let your family know, is one of the best decisions you can make.
Thank you. I just wanted you to say it. I'm with you, and we talk about that all the time. And, I have a parent who's 90. My father is 90. And of course, we already have all of his information in place and plans in place. But every once in a while, we still do a catch-up conversation, in case beneficiaries change, if, just maybe the plan changes, the insurance plan, any of those things, or we get some more property and we want to make sure it's in the right person's name. Candace, for you, what are some of your areas of expertise, or does it feed off the items that they both spoke of?
It really feeds off of what Attorney Michael Tolbert and Attorney Shalise Tolbert talked about. One of the things that is a little bit unique with me is that I am licensed in Illinois as well. So if we have individuals here that may have some issues going on across the border, then I'm able to handle that as well.
No wonder you all have her on the team. I see why now. Well, it has definitely been my pleasure to speak with all of you. And lastly, please share how everybody can get in touch with you when they are ready for your amazing services.
Well, you can reach us at our telephone numbers, 219-427-0094. We are located at 1085 Broadway, Suite B, which is B as in boy, on the second floor. And our website is www.tolbertlegal.com. Obviously, we have Facebook and other social media that Chelsea takes care of for us because I lose track.
Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay, yes, Twitter and LinkedIn. And if you know one of us, you catch us. We take calls. We help whenever you reach out to us.
Well, thank you so much. I definitely will be reaching out to you more, Shalise, for those community talks, all of you, to help people to understand the importance of estate planning. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. Quite a few people watching today with our conversations with the Tolberts and Associate Candace. It was so nice to really hear more about all of the amazing things that you're doing in the community. So do you have a name? Like are you Sensei? What are you now?
I'm just,
You just Michael? I
just
called you on
Michael.
guard, and then he's like, what is that?
Just Michael.
Chop, chop.
Just Michael.
I want to say, can I say one
Sure,
thing? I want to
please.
thank you for all the phenomenal things that you do in our community.
Thank you.
And I pray that your business continues to grow and thrive. And we're just extremely lucky to have you. So
Thank you
very
for
much.
saying that. It is all Gary love. Everybody have an amazing evening. Don't forget to follow the Tolberts on social media so you can stay abreast of what's going on right here in downtown Gary, the Tolberts, and we will see you next time. What is that?